Dr. Mohammed Munir. He joins me from Lancaster, where he's a virologist and lecturer in biomedicine at Lancaster University in the UK. Doctor, good to have you on the program. So 700,000 deaths in the US, it's an alarming figure, but one that almost seems inevitable for a country the size of the United States and the rate of testing there. Globally, we're reaching almost 1 million. But are these deaths mainly among those who've chosen not to get the vaccine, or is it a situation where, like we heard in that report, in rural areas, it's difficult to get to good medical facilities where they can be treated?
Yes, absolutely. You're absolutely right, because the United States population is only 4% of the world population, whereas the 20 to 25% of total deaths and number of cases are reported only in the United States. So definitely something went wrong down the line of the pandemic. And I think one of the major contributing factors, beside other the response in early stage of the pandemic, is really the vaccination ratio. For instance, if we look onto the overall vaccination ratio now, still there are 70 million eligible people who are not yet vaccinated. And if you include the children, that has just been approved and started rolling out, then the total around 43% of the population within the country is not yet vaccinated. And with the Delta variant, which is more transmissible, it will take up anybody who is not yet vaccinated. And beside that, there's been a difference in mandate around the masks, and those factors have also contributed. And therefore, I think the overall toll in the United States will remain high compared to many other countries in the world.
Doctor, something that appears to be promising, well, at least the company Merck thinks it's promising, is this experimental drug that they've come up with, this new pill that helps to fight COVID-19. However, there are concerns that those who took part in the study, it wasn't a very high number of people and has yet to be peer-reviewed. What's your take on this pill?
Well, the drug that Merck is proposing to be very effective has been first developed against influenza, so it has a certain track record of safety. So the number of people that have been enrolled within this phase 2 and phase 3 trial combined was around 775, and the overall efficacy has been significant. And this seems to be the first drug getting into the human use as an oral pill. The overall number has been relatively small, but given the impact of it, for example, 17% death compared to 14 in placebo control, that clearly indicates that it has a substantial effect onto the saving lives from dying or getting into the hospital. And this is really important to highlight. While it is a good and maybe a future of handling this pandemic, yet vaccines would remain the first choice to prevent the infection, to have it happen at the first place. But if somebody would get infection, the drugs like the one that is being proposed by Merck would be a solution moving forward.
Dr. Munir, great to get your response on all of that. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.